Next, we will learn how Dubai Expo 2020 will become the future smart city. Expo 2020 will be a festival of human ingenuity. It will be the world's first expo to take place in the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. Expo 2020 is finding smart solution that will create one of the most efficient and engaging events in the world. The smart site will deliver a unique and memorable experience for visitors while also enabling business and raising public awareness of sustainability. To know more about how Dubai's Expo 2020 site will become future smart city, I would like to call to stage Mohammed Al-Hashmi, Senior Vice President of ICT for Expo 2020. Please join us to stage.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mohammed Al-Hashmi, Senior Vice President, Innovation and Future Technologies in Expo 2020 Dubai. It gives me a great pleasure to be here to talk about Expo 2020. First of all, let me get an innovation gadget out of my pocket. My reading glasses. I thought of it, actually, we can do this two ways. Either I formally present, which should take something like 10 to 15 minutes, or I skim through the presentation and then talk openly and receive questions and answer whatever I can, or whatever I'm allowed to do. Which one you guys prefer? I do nothing, I go back and sit. Or actually go back to work because we are too busy. Honestly, guys, which one do you prefer? Second one, okay. But then I will click very, very, very fast, all right? I'll try to do my best. Let me start by saying 18.5, 761. 18,264, 1,095,840, 65,750,400 seconds, minutes, hours, days, and weeks left for Expo 2020. That's the time. And the clock is ticking. It's no more 65 million. 750, 400, now it's already 250 seconds maybe remaining. Seriously, and it's something that haunts us the whole time. The clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It's like something is running behind you. In today's presentation, we from Expo 2020, we would like to give you an insight of how innovation and future technologies are powering the Expo site, and how we are enabling the foundation of future smart city. Okay, before we get into the innovation at Expo 2020, let us read the quote of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, where he concluded by saying that innovation is the capital of the future. Innovation and Future Technologies, IFT, forms the core of what Expo aspires to deliver. It's the engine to bring all the various components of Expo and bridge the connection between technology, partners, guests, our people, and visitors. So I'm gonna again try to go faster on this. We, in IFT and Expo 2020, we are not a hierarchical team. We are rather a network of teams, which is built on partnership and work hand in hand across several entities. So we're gonna give you an example of that. That's the IFT and Expo. We have two divisions, mainly Applied Intelligence and Intelligence Connect. Branding is very important for Expo. And this is what we are trying to do, actually. Everything is based on intelligence. Everything has to be so smart. So from the Applied Intelligence side, we have creative reality, capability enablement, artificial intelligence, and agile delivery. I can explain later what each section, if somebody is interested, is doing there. Mainly, these are the solutions. These are the intelligence behind what we are doing. And how we are applying it is through the other side, which is what traditionally called the operation or the services side, which is the Intelligent Connect side, which consists of advanced venue technology, integrated operation, IoT, and beyond. It took us actually a few days to agree on that word, IoT and beyond. Network technologies and technology support. This is all supported by what is, again, traditionally called PMO, but we are calling it value realization, and our innovation advisory board that we have. Of course, we can't forget the cybersecurity and resilience team. The principle that we work upon, it's made of 4 pillars. First is the partners. We always want to work with partners who are best in their fields and who are willing to collaborate to deliver the promise that we have for an exceptional expo. Secondly, the products. So we are constantly looking for best products available in the market and platform which can help us to deliver our commitments. Now, to do all of that, we need to be very agile. We strive to deliver continuous value, and we push our limits to deliver ahead of our commitments. We have a big portfolio of products. Maybe I can share that we have over 125 projects that we need to do, over 85 solutions to be delivered. It's not up to 2020, October 2020. Actually, we have just above 1 year, 1 year, 2 months to deliver it, because by beginning of 2020, we have to be ready. We need that much time to test everything. And lastly is that we want to leave a legacy of solutions behind, which will last beyond Expo. So everything that we do, we think, what can we leave behind? And our biggest legacy that we want to leave behind are the people. To deliver the best, you have to co-innovate with commercial partners, such as Accenture, Cisco, Dark Matter, Etisalat, SAP, and Siemens, using collaborative technology platforms. For example, in July 2018, and through our partnership with Etisalat, we have announced that Expo 2020 is the first commercial customer in the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia to access and experience the capabilities of 5G networks. This only proves that we, as UAE, being in UAE and Dubai, we are leaders in innovation, infrastructure, and we are early adopters of advanced technologies. And it also supports the Expo goal in being one of the most connected sites in the world, both physically and virtually. Our innovation is embedded in everything that we do and in our real estate and operation so that visitors can get a great experience and our stakeholders can reap the future returns from it. This is it. Here you will see a very short list of technologies that we are trying to implement, or we're going to actually implement. From telecom infrastructure that covers over 200 kilometers of fiber, 18 macro cell antennas, Al-Wasl Plaza Dome, which is capable of 360 degrees projection. Al-Wasl Plaza, by the way, is the size it's at, the height is you can bring 3 A380s airplane on top of each other in that dome. Again, we're talking about intelligent navigation, finger post smart wayfinding, smart robotics, pixel display, curtain walls, immersive visitor experience, smart display, intelligent crowd management, Internet of Things, volunteer management, smart irrigation, smart powers. It's too many to remember, actually. Intelligent navigation, robotic concierge. And this is one of the things that we talked to be one of the most connected, more than 8,000 access points all around, 5G and 4G. And we go on. By the way, our master plan keeps changing. It's never so, and that's one of the greatest challenges that we have, because no matter how you think you have locked in your tasks and projects, things keep coming because technology is evolving and user expectation keep rising. We are using immersive technologies and innovation processes during the construction phase and aiming for a smart site during the event phase. These are some of the examples of the things that we are doing, which is personalized, secured, integrated, cloud-based, IoT-aware, and reusable. By the way, this is how Expo will look like in real. It's a dream, isn't it? Now, beyond Expo, what will happen? We intend to leave a lasting legacy powered with smart infrastructure and smart technologies. We call it District 2020. It's our mission as a destination to connect, create, innovate. District 2020 will connect original thinkers, innovators, and pioneers to share ideas, learn from each other, and unlock inspiration. From Expo 2020 Dubai to District 2020, it's always been about connecting minds. It was always about connecting minds, because by connecting minds, we move one step closer to creating the future. Now, if you can notice here that 80% of the construction that we are doing right now will remain beyond Expo 2020 and will become our legacy for District 2020. District 2020 is a new urban experience. We will see urbanization of the Expo site, and plans are already underway to create long-term future. As I said, 80% of the construction used for Expo 2020 will be retained for the district, and we have a crystal clear image of residential, commercial, creative hub, a hive of activity where open space, equal open minds, and innovation can flourish, creating a long-term future. These are the different things that will remain. Of course, the metro station, the conference and exhibition center, the hotels, Al Wasl Plaza, the residential, and the commercial entities. District 2020, again, as I mentioned, will be the hub for strategic industries like logistics and transport, travel, construction, and education, powered by the technologies like IoT, big data, augmented reality. It will create a hub to connect, create, and innovate. District 2020 will become the home, workplace, and retreat for those who thrive by connecting with others, living in a center of human innovation. These are two of our premium partners who have already committed to be in District 2020. Siemens, who have committed to moving their global logistics center from Germany to Dubai, and Accenture. This concludes my presentation, by the way. I really did it very, very fast to allow for any question, if we are allowed to answer it. And I'm very sorry to say that we could not showcase everything that we are doing. We had to show a level of secrecy, or we have to keep a level of secrecy around many of the technologies that we are doing. One reason being, if we announce it, it's not wow anymore. It's not unique, right? Thank you very much. Thank you, Hamza. Okay, before we allow questions, I joined Expo 1 year, 1 month back. I was retired. I was enjoying my life, really. And for the first time, I spent like 1.5 years time purely with my wife. Cooking, gardening, going out, going to coffee shops, exploring UAE. And I thought, because I really thought I've done it all. I worked with great people, and some of which are here, and you guys are my teachers. Thank you very much. And I really thought, as I said, I've done it all. I worked in network security, operations. I was a programmer. I implemented ERP solutions. Okay, and beyond that, I thought like there's nothing that I could do until I was requested, or actually ordered, to join Expo. And I said, wow. One of the things that they told me, it was not an interview. It was just, I entered there and I received the handshake and they told me, thank you for joining the team. That was the shortest interview I have ever had. And I had 3 before that only. The first question I was asked, or I was asked to do was, do you want to see the plan? The plan that you need to do or implement in ICT, what used to be called ICT, now we are calling it IFT. And I thought, why are they asking me to look at the plan? Right? It's just a normal IFT team. And I said, if there is anybody who can do it, I can as well do it. Not because, who am I? It's because I am a national. And I'm proud to be part of the Expo 2020. It's like, it was like giving a shot, like imagine you are Muhammad Ali Clay and you're not Muhammad Ali Clay, but then suddenly you became Muhammad Ali Clay and they say, you have a shot at the title. Just take it. It's an amazing feeling. But then, of course, I was shocked when I actually, literally a few days after I saw that huge plan of task. It is not a privilege. It's a huge responsibility. Expectation is very high. It's a national pride project. It's a responsibility not only for those who are working there. It's every single one of you. Regardless, being expat, being nationals, working in government entities, semi-government entities, private sector. It's a responsibility of anyone who cares about the UAE. Because you know why? We are gonna create history. History for the UAE. History of an event, a mega event that no one has seen anything like that before. And ask yourself a question. Do you want to be part of that history? And unfortunately, The answer for most of you is no. Do you know why? Because I haven't received many calls nor many emails from most of you requesting to meet, requesting to help, to see what you guys can do. And there are no excuses when you are responsible. If you feel responsible, you have to do that. If I'm somewhere and I see somebody who needs a hand outside, I will go and lend them a hand. I'm sorry to say this, but you guys need to rethink about it. We are living in such a great country, a country who's done everything for us. Just think of the peace that we have here, how safe we feel, how privileged we are to be in this country. But then, how much have you done towards this? It is the biggest event. It's bigger than the World Cup, the Olympics, not because of the number of visitors or visitation, but the duration also. We are aiming at 25 million visitation, out of which 70% from outside of the UAE. That has never happened. It's the first time ever that every country will have a pavilion. There was those countries that we call them self-built pavilions. Those are the big countries who can afford actually to build pavilions. And the others, they used to gather them into one hall, an exhibition, and every country will have a small space like a kiosk and so on. But this time, because we are the UAE, and we are Dubai, and we are Expo 2020, we are offering every country a dedicated pavilion in a building. So, let me conclude my statement. Thank you for everyone who will participate, who will lend a hand towards having the greatest ever expo in the world. Thank you very much. Questions?
Ram Tolani from Goodwill. Here, sir.
Where? Yes.
I would have no question, but the comments. Expo 2020 does not fascinate me at all because I have lived in Dubai for 45 years and every moment in Dubai is fascinating me. I have seen since last 45 years how the vision of father of the nation, His Highness Sheikh Zayed was, Sheikh Rashid, Sheikh Mohammed, and all the rulers of entire UAE have made UAE a beautiful place. I quote in our society that I have lived in Dubai for 4 generations now, and in case if my last breath is to be taken, that will be in Dubai, because this is the most safest place in the world. I have seen we hold 14 global offices, and I find Dubai the most safest place to live, the best education. Dr. Isa Bastaki is my backbone, the best medical treatments, and the highest income one can earn here. Live the best among all of you is a family feeling. Best wishes to all of us who live here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. We are privileged to have you in the UAE for so long. Thank you very much.
There's a question here.
I have a question. As someone who's planning to visit the Expo, and this is a common issue or a problem with all the other projects that we have, something which is always overlooked, traffic management. How are you going to manage the traffic, and are you going to utilize special technologies?
We are working very closely with different entities in Dubai and the UAE. One of them is RTA. Of course, it's always a challenge, and that was one of the biggest challenges that the previous Expo had. It's the traffic and the queue management of the visitors. We have many solutions, and one of them, of course, is that dedicated metro line that we are getting, or the extension of that metro line that we are getting specifically for Expo 2020. There will be dedicated buses for Expo 2020. There are enough car parks. There are over 30,000 car parks within Expo. So I really don't believe the distance itself can be a challenge for some people. I mean, it's going to take like, it depends where you are in Dubai or you are in Sharjah. But that's one of the reasons that we opened Expo close to Al Maktoum Bridge, to where, Al Maktoum Airport, I'm sorry. So we are at least between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, you know. Distance can be a challenge, but I don't believe that traffic will be a challenge for us.
Thank you for the nice presentation, and I think today myself I learned a lot about Expo 2020. I never know how to contact them, but now I know how to contact them through you. I have just one question. I'm the head of Innovation and Technology Exploitation on Etihad, and on the past almost 9 years, we're running Innovation Days and Innovation Week, and we go with UAE pioneers. Now, UAE pioneers, they have a lot of challenges, and one of it, how to open the door for them. Such a big project in UAE, how do you help those UAE pioneers? There are lots of pioneers who have their own small company to medium company. They have a good product. How do you engage them in such a project?
That's
help them to support the economy, because we have to think a year's coming. How are we going to help our economy? It's not about today and tomorrow, it's about after even tomorrow. So how do you help them to really engage on this by putting them as well to work with a big vendor or big supplier that you are working with?
Right. We have different initiatives in Expo 2020. Of course, we do focus on Emiratization. So we do try as much as possible to hire and recruit Emiratis, because they are one of our legacies. Now, talking of different entities, SMEs, we have a mandate also to ensure that a percentage of our procurement go toward SMEs locally and internationally. Other than that, we have, again, another initiative which is called Expo Live, which supports innovation and supports students from different, they could be from universities or from outside universities who have great ideas. So we do fund them, and we ensure that they are supported by, it could be technology companies who can move them so they can move forward. We do try our best. Do we know about everything that is available? Of course not. We just try, but we urge everyone, whoever has ideas, they are more than welcome to approach us. You may not know my email. Search on the LinkedIn. You know the Expo number. There is a landline number. Just call for anybody. We are always there. Seriously, we don't try to hide from people. Right? We are very busy always, but we still try to do our best to connect.
Maybe during the Innovation Month, maybe you do gathering for these people?
Do invite us.
They have really a great idea. They have very wonderful ideas.
Of course they have.
They don't know how to open the door, and nobody is helping them as well to open the door.
Can you take that initiative yourself?
Yes, I can take that initiative.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I can give you my business card. That's excellent. Excellent. Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I didn't know that you were working at Expo. So from now on, I'll contact you. We are related, so I know.
As I said, it's not a privilege to be there. It's a responsibility. That's why I can't brag about it and I do feel so proud to be there. It's the best way, by the way, working at Expo is the best way to lose weight. You pay nothing to any clinic to do that. And you can see I'm in a very good shape. Yes.
Last question.
Is it? Oh, I'm running out of time, right?
You can get free VIP tickets for CIOMajlis members.
I'll work on that for sure.
200 how many?
I think there was one question from there.
20 will be more than 1,000.
As long as it is a seasonal ticket, not a one-time ticket. No, there is one here also. Just
yes, you told it's a great project, and it must be a great project. You told you are introducing the latest and innovative technology in the world. You told you are going to park about 30,000 cars in this project. So are you introducing the latest automated robotic car parking system, or the manual or simple car management system?
I can't talk about that.
Huh?
I cannot talk about that.
You cannot?
No. We are looking into, I told you there are things that we cannot talk publicly about because we cannot disclose certain technologies.
No, this I can provide you the solution.
You can provide us, so please get in
Yes.
touch.
So that's why I need the contact. Now, two solutions I can provide. One, you need power to operate this one. Power, electric.
My name is Mohammed Al-Hashimi.
Yeah.
Mohammed.alhashimi@expo2020.ae. All right?
Okay.
I do reply to every email.
Okay, I will
I
call.
read every single email. I'm at work from, now it depends on the morning prayer, but now from like 5:45 I'm at work just for reading emails.
Yeah. Okay, I will contact you and I will give you the solution for power and the automated car parking system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Last question. I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. معكم طالبة من جامعة الإمارات.
جربي
اوكي. طالبة من جامعة الإمارات. حبينا نشكرك على تقديمك وشكرا على كل كلمة وشكرا لأن نحن كنا من ضمن هذا المؤتمر وفي جملة حبيت أنت قلتها حبيت أكررها إن إذا أنت كنت إماراتي لازم تكون ضمن التاريخ فنحن إن شاء الله راح نشارك في اكسبو وياكم صح نحن يمكن ما تكون عندنا خبرة لكن بما أنكم فتحتوا لنا الباب إن نحن نقول أفكارنا فشكرا لكم
شكرا بنتي. بنتي هذا واجب على كل إماراتي موجود هنا. انتو المستقبل، عارفة كيف؟ نحن معتمدين اللي قاعد نسويه، انتو في النهاية اللي يعني بتديرونه وانتو اللي بتطورونه وانتو اللي بتمشون في هالمسار هذا اللي نحن بس ياسين نبداه لكم. عارفة كيف؟ الباقي كله عليكم. العزيمة، روح الإصرار، التعلم، الابتكار، كيف ان نتميز، كيف ان نكون رقم واحد. هذا الدور اللي هو عليكم. ونحن نتريا كثير منكم صراحة. واهلا وسهلا فيكم في اكسبو. وعلى فكرة we look for 30,000 volunteers for Expo 2020. You are all more than welcome to register.
اوكي ان شاء الله نحن نقدرها.
Thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much for the lovely presentation. Inshallah, Expo 2020 will be the best event in the world. Since the last question was from a student, happened coincidentally, the next presentation is going to be talking about digital technology in the heart of the contemporary education. The higher education industry is no spectator to this digital disruption. From digital data, personalized education to the virtual teaching and online courses. Students who enroll in higher education would like to learn in a way that makes sense to them. Their digital world isn't something new. It's an extension of who they are. They want their education to be more flexible and more personalized, and they want to be educated whenever and wherever they happen to be. To tell us more about that, the next panelist will be moderated by Ahmed Al-Ahmed, CIO of Nakheel. Please join us to stage. And our speakers will be Dr. Karim Saghir, President of Ajman University, Dr. Yusuf Al-Isa, President of Rochester Institute of Technology, and Dr. Isa Al-Bastaki, President of Dubai University.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon everybody. I think Yusuf was telling me he's very hungry, by the way, so it's time for the lunch now. It was very interesting, Muammar presentation. Thank you very much. شكرا للدكاترة كذلك ولحضوركم and for waiting till this time. I believe everybody went through a long journey with their education, let's say journey, starting from the schools, going to the universities. And some of you had a great journey with this education part. And the majority is having good time. We cannot say. Well, let me introduce first of all the panelists over here, starting from Dr. Yusuf at my left side. Dr. Yusuf has his PhD from Oxford University in the area of soft computing, and was the Dean of College of Engineering at the American University of Sharjah. Currently, he's the president of RIT University campus in Dubai, and in Dubai in Silicon Oasis, aligning the offering of the university with the vision of UAE and Dubai specifically. Dr. Karim Sghir holds a PhD in mathematical economics and finance from Sorbonne University in Paris. Sorry. He has worked in 4 different continents. So how many languages do you speak, Dr.?
Several.
MashaAllah.
At least 4.
And several prominent universities, including the American University of Beirut and the American University in Cairo. So you speak the Lebanese and the Egyptian language now.
And the Tunisian, and the Tunisian, of course.
Tunisian.
Okay, and he served as the Dean of the School of Business. Dr. Karim now is the Chancellor of Ajman University since 2017. دكتور عيسى البستكي طبعا أشهر منار على العالم ما شاء الله بالإمارات. Bachelor and Master from University of California, San Diego, and PhD from the University of California, Irvine. He's a faculty member from 1981 to 2011 at the United Arab University. One of the founders of Dubai Silicon Oasis. He's the CEO of ICT, founded in, he served the period between 2010 to 2012. President and CEO of University of Dubai currently since 2013. And he's he chaired, by the way, the EEE for a very long time, and he's the honorary chair of IEEE at the moment. Dr. Isa Taban won a lot of awards during his journey in the education. I believe every half of the whole over here are your students.
They are. Dr. Saeed is one of them.
I was sitting next to him, and every time he's telling me this was my student, and she
Dr.
was
Saeed.
my student.
Dr. Saeed. Are my colleagues.
وشكرا على حضورك دكتور عيسى. He just arrived, by the way, this early morning, so his timing zone is still in China.
I can see you.
شكرا لكم جميعا دكاترة. The topic is a very interesting topic, and it affected every single person of us, the education and how to use the technology in the education. All of us went through a long journey of our life, starting from the papers, going into the, let's say, I'll talk about myself, for example. When I graduated from the university, I joined I took my master after 10 years of my bachelor graduation, and I noticed a big shift between how we used to study previously and how's the new studies that time. I'm talking about 10 years from now, 10 years back, when I got my master. So there was a big shift. Nowadays, I see my kids coming to the home and talking about carrying their iPads with them. One of the interesting or very short story I would like to start with, I was trying to solve one of the questions to my son, Rashid. And I told him, see, you can always search in the internet. Let's Google it. And I started writing the question on Google. He said, why you are doing it in this way? So how to search? This is the way we should search. He said, no, just press here. He pressed on the microphone, and he, you know, I was like, I'm the one who's teaching you, not you. Anyway, so even the culture got changed as of today. Now, if we talk about going back to using the technology in the education sector, I would like to start with Dr. Karim. أنا مشهور بالقصف العشوائي, by the way, I don't go in sequence. So I would like to start with Dr. Karim, if you can define the technology education and how it improved the education system, let's say, in your area.
First of all, good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me. First, of course, as we could see from all the presentations this morning, digital transformation has in fact affected all sectors and every aspect of life, and education is no exception. Maybe I will try to do it very quickly, but I will start first with one category, which is teaching and learning. This is one aspect of what universities are doing. And of course, we are dealing with a completely new generation. As you said, the same thing happened to me with my daughter, who I thought did not know how to write and could do the Google by voice. Of course, this is a completely different generation. They have their own skills and or demands, and universities are adapting to that at different paces. First, of course, they learn digital transformation has given a lot of flexibility in terms of reducing the cost, in terms of distance learning, and in terms of what time you can learn. Of course, we have all universities here have students who are full-time employees. They cannot necessarily come to class at very specific times. So this has improved the way students can interact and can learn through digital transformation. This is one thing. The second thing is that this generation cannot learn unless they see how they can apply the theory to real life. I mean, they really learn by doing. And I can see in the classes at Ajman University how faculty members now understand that they don't have any other choice but to use all these simulations, games, where students can see exactly through interacting with the faculty members, but also with their peers, and see real examples of strategy, how to have a new startup, how to build a startup, all the stages of learning through games and simulations. The other things are that if we move away from the learning and education, there is also the procedures and processes that universities have been doing through paper-based registration, admission, submitting the documents. All these have been changed tremendously in Ajman University in the past couple of years. Just some examples: we moved from a rate of registration online from 17% to 91% in a couple of years. We have reduced the cost of paper, and believe me, this has been much better used now in our core business, which is teaching and research. The third pillar, I would say, is communication with students. Of course, I'm sure many universities have tried to communicate with students through emails or through letters or SMSs, and this simply does not work. They really want to see, to communicate through their mobile phone, and we just created an application. It's called the Ajman University application, and it includes everything that a student needs to know about the university, all the events, all the courses, etc. And this has increased the communication with our students a lot. Now we have 70% at least of our students who are actively engaged on these applications.
70%?
70% of our students.
What about the other 30?
The other 30 are coming.
Absent, maybe.
You always have to start somewhere. I think 70% is a very good achievement compared to how the previous rate. So there are many aspects where education has improved. I mean, I can give you other examples, but also I will give, let's keep the discussion going, and we'll talk about the challenges as well, because I think this will be a very interesting
Very interesting. So it's no more a technology, it's no more a hardware, it's no more an application by itself. It's something like a service you provided to all the stakeholders of the university, I believe. Dr. Yusuf, can you tell us a little bit about the digital technology as a service, let's say?
Yeah.
How you look at it?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you everyone for listening. You know, as we make Dubai a smart city, definitely we are creating all these smart solutions everywhere. So in the future, we think after everything becomes smart, we'll stop calling it smart city because everything is smart. Like, you know, the digital office, we used to call it smart office. Now by default, it has to be smart. So in the future, I think city will be a service. So you think of a city as a service. And in this case, or a platform, so a city as a platform. Universities, there will be one component of that city. So they have to be part of the platform where they provide service and give access to many people in order to learn out of the system. Not only this, the impact will be determined. Now, if you need more access and you need more impact, the only way you do it is through technology and digitization. Another thing, everything will be centralized in this smart city where we relieve the government in order from the investment, because the society and the stakeholders, they will be doing the investment. So if you think now, as a university is a component out of that service, and it has to provide that service. Even the university itself has to become a service. So we don't, I think universities with time, they will become community centers, and students, maybe they will learn somewhere else, but they would like to mingle with teachers and all of that, so it will become a service. Now, if we think of this as a service, then definitely we have to create the talent that will really run that service. So I would like to give an example, which we are doing at our IT university now. We are building a campus, which will be ready in 1 year and a half. And we have 3 themes for that campus. It has to be a smart campus, sustainable campus, and connected campus. When it comes to smart, we are the users of that campus. McKinsey this morning, they said, look, you have to start with the user. And the user experience has really to go and implement the technology, not that way around. So we say, we'll invite the public partners like Do, Siemens, and Software AG, and we tell them, look, we would like you to create that smartness when it comes to the education side, and when it comes, like Dr. Kim said, and the operation side. But we don't want you to come and provide a solution. We would like our students and faculty to work on the solutions, but you help them, you mentor them. So, for example, and we thought of the users as users. For example, what is the faculty user experience journey when he comes to campus? Maybe in the morning when he wakes up, immediately says, that street is blocked, so you need to leave 10 minutes early because you will miss your class. So that's information. When he comes to the campus, immediately he doesn't have to have a scan. Immediately his face will appear, the door will open. Even if he changes his car, that car will be registered as a new car for him. He goes to the classroom, immediately he doesn't have to take attendance because there are cameras, and he can later see who is coming, who participated, not participating. Even artificial intelligence can be used in order to help that faculty in grading. He goes to his office, maybe there will be a machine giving him coffee. And maybe there will be data analytics in order to give him more information. And he continues, this is the journey of, let's say, a faculty. The same thing with students and what have you. Now, data analytics is very important. So what we are doing with these companies, we say, look, we'll go from the IoT sensors, we go to the controllers, then we go up to the data analytics, which give information about what is happening in the classroom, in the education sector, but not only this, in the operation of the university. If our students can do this, then definitely we are preparing them for the future with real examples. So this is what we're doing.
Interesting journey. Dr. Isa, you still with us?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. Okay, Dr. Isa, we were talking about the technologies as disruptive, and it went through multiple sectors of our life. The education is still going into the same or very slow, let's say, improvement since a very long time. Yes, the journey is very interesting part. The student journey, or even the class journey, let's say, or the university journey is an interesting part. But do you think it's the time to move to another step of technology, something like disruptive, let's say?
Interesting. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa-salam ala Rasulullah Mohammed wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Good afternoon, gentle ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's a very important question and very interesting also because, first of all, University of Dubai is a smart building and a green building. So I don't need to talk about University of Dubai. If you look at the vision of our leaders, when Sheikh Mohammed talked to the youngsters and the youth, he told them, what is the pillar of our development? He said education, education, and education. And what did Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed say? He said that through education, and after 50 years we'll be celebrating to export the last barrel of oil. Education, again, is the main pillar of the whole system, development of the system. When it comes to disruption, it's a unit step function, by the way. I'm an electrical engineer, so I look at this thing. It's a system that looks at, you know, anytime you go to university, we as faculty members, we look at what is it that the student needs to know so that he or she can graduate. We have course learning objectives, we have program learning objectives. So we should know exactly what the student learned in the course and what did he or she learn from program. If he or she knows the whole thing, then it can give them the degree, right? As simple as that. So these are the objectives. Now, can we do it differently with the same objectives? Of course, there is also a third one. Objective is, I call it L to L. You may have to make the student love to learn. And then E to L, explore to learn. And then E to L, experiment to learn. And then W to L, work to learn. And then I to L, innovate to learn. These are the three main objectives for a student to be successful and get the degree. Now, when you talk about love to learn, that means the student should love what you're delivering. That means we have to use their technology. Not to teach them technology, we use their technology for them to love to learn. So now, what I'm saying is, you need to make sure there's a system that you can learn as a student at any time. 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. At any time I could learn. It's open completely. Why? I'll tell you later. Secondly, it's independent of the location. I don't worry where I am. Even if I'm taking bath, I can learn. So it's independent of location. Again, it's also on the move. If I am in a car and have a driverless car, I can still learn. And independent of the faculty member or the professor. That means I can open my system and talk to a professor in the United States or in Japan or China or wherever we are and can learn from that person. So this is now independent of the professor. Then it goes into the independent of the, what do you say, even the machine could be a tutor to me. So I could call my home. I have an Internet of Things in my home. I could call that system and tell, please tutor me what you heard now from the professor. So there's artificial intelligence system also in it. If you look at it at the whole, you can learn the whole thing in less than what Ministry of Education is saying, 4 years bachelor's, 12 years degree, high school. Now, if you're, wherever you are, at whatever time, whoever is teaching you, and also on the move, that means you can learn, you can finish your high school in 9 years, not 12 years. And when I say 9, you can't go less because the maturity is there. And when you go to university, then you don't need to learn it in 4 years. You can learn it 1 year, less or more. So we have to make sure there's a flexi time system with the Ministry of Education. This means, so this is a disruption. Where is the disruption now? The second disruption, buildingless schools. So in the future, we'll not have buildings. Even banks will not be there as buildings. Even schools, university will not be there. We are in trouble, by the way. But at the end, everybody can learn at any time. This is what disruption is. As an example, suppose I have a professor from India teaching me. Through the blockchain, there's a transaction, Internet of Transactions, I can actually automatically pay that professor who is teaching me. So all transactions being done through the blockchain. So if we're using Internet of Things, we're using blockchain, we're using cloud computing, we're using artificial intelligence, even in robotics. If I'm an engineer student, I don't need to go to the lab. I can use my virtual reality through a lab somewhere, and I can do through a robot my experiment. So this is what disruption means.
Interesting. Dr. Karim, you spoke about the challenges. What is in your mind, or what are the challenges you see in the implementation, let's say, of such a technology?
Yeah, maybe the first challenge that I saw in different universities in different countries is the reluctance to change. And of course, people love their comfort zone, although I think most of the fun happens outside the comfort zone. Maybe this is even more than the public sector, and maybe I'll take Ajman municipality as an example, where their customers are older than the customers of the universities, because we deal with students who are between 17 and 22, while they deal in general with older generation. The issue here is that the customers, or the students in our case, are more advanced and more technology savvy than their professors, which creates a different kind of challenge. And here, universities, and I know that my colleagues are doing the same as well, invested a lot in training faculty members to get to the new technologies and be able to speak the same language as students, which is very different in some cases. So of course, professional development is very important, but also incentives are extremely important. And I'll give you an example that we started at Ajman University. There is an initiative by Queen Rania Foundation, which is called IDRAK. Some people might know it. You know that 65% of the population in the Arab region don't understand English. And of course, all the MOOCs provided by Harvard and MIT that are extremely helpful don't have an impact on 65% of the population in the Arab region. And Queen Rania Foundation has started something exactly similar with MIT and Harvard, same infrastructure, same quality, but it's in Arabic. And Ajman University is now part of it, and we are offering an online course on IDRAK for more than 1 million people in the Arab region. And of course, we give incentives to faculty members in Ajman University who are involved in this. So basically, we count one IDRAK course for 2 courses, so this will decrease their teaching load. The other challenges are the infrastructure itself. Sometimes in universities, the infrastructure is not ready to prepare for the real transformation. There are other challenges that are in different countries. Maybe the one that we also share with the public sector is the legal aspect. You know that many universities in different countries in the Arab region have to go through local accreditation. And some local accreditation bodies don't take into account distance learning, or they don't actually allow for distance. There are no requirements or standards for distance teaching or even blended learning. So this reduces a lot the flexibility of universities, and many universities here, including Ajman University, is working with the accrediting body, who are really very, very open and very progressive. And we are making some adjustments on the requirement of the accreditation so that we can be as flexible. And of course, time is important here, because when you start a new program or you start a new technology, it takes you at least 6 years to have the outcome of this product, which is the program, because you need a year to get your program accredited. You need 4 to 5 years for the student to learn. So basically, if you start today a new program that is cutting edge, etc., the job market will not see it. Will not see it immediately. It will see it in 6 years, which is also much slower than what the pace that I think should be used in education must be to be consistent with the rapid change in the job market and the rapid demand in job market. So these are, I think, mainly the challenges that we are facing, at least the universities I know.
Dr. Youssef, what about the challenges that you are facing with your journey?
Well, I'll add to the challenges which mentioned by Dr. Karim. I think for students, I think we need to give them more tools, especially those students who cannot afford the tools in this country and other countries. The other one is empowerment. Families and teachers, sometimes they don't empower students to learn by themselves and accept what they learn as part of their education. Still, we look at the student as a student. and you have to do 1, 2, 3, and the student is really resisting this. So giving them empowerment, but careful empowerment, I think this is another challenge we have to address. And students at the moment, they are not mature enough. I mean, we know students, they would like to use technology, but maybe they don't study. So they come to the class, okay, did you study using the technology? No, I was busy. So training the students culturally that this is very important is critical. The other challenge are with families. I mean, you mentioned that your son came to you and suddenly, now definitely he or she, the student, will be spending most of the time with the family. If the parents, they don't really adopt and accept the technologies, definitely the student will feel alien at the house and maybe he will be comfortable at the school. The other one is the institution itself. Dr. Karim mentioned investment. This needs investment from the universities, and sometimes we don't have the money to create this. Talents. Currently, many universities, they hire faculty, they don't have industrial experience. Just they finish and suddenly they teach. To them, they are still teachers. So I think maybe the universities, they have to change the way they hire faculty, that they have this at their background, innovation at their background, and they can develop innovation into the students. So it becomes a criteria of the hiring, and even the promotion of faculty has to be based on that, that what did you contribute into this area? They have to be ready. The last one is, which mentioned by Dr. Isa, it's the accreditation bodies. Of course, we know Ministry of Education, they care about quality, and this is very important because you don't want many universities to make shortcuts. But I think we need to move fast with this, and they have to adapt. For example, wouldn't it be nice that if our universities become like Karim and Uber? So a student goes and take this course with Dr. Isa,
they will
that
become
course
one
with Dr.
company now, Karim and
this
Uber
course
by
with
now.
RIT, and the ministry says, well, this actually self-learning is very good. I'll give you the PS for it. This is the platform and the service platform which I was talking about, that it becomes a service where you can choose whatever you want with the money you want and the economy you want, and we reach the consumption economy concept where you just take from the city or from the platform what you need and what will make you successful. So these are some of the challenges.
I see. Dr. Isa, going back to the flexible study which you mentioned, which is really interesting. It will shorten, I think, the life of many students, especially the A class students, I would say. Again, going to back to the challenges and the families as well. Don't you think it will be very tough for the families to co-op with the students, running faster than the usual?
Well,
this is one question. The other part, I will go back to the blockchain. You mentioned the blockchain also. If you can give us an example about implementing the education technology as a platform with the blockchain.
Okay. The first one is the challenge, right? What was the first one? You see, I'm forgetting.
Because the clock is running much faster, 4 hours difference. The fast track of the
yes, now I got it, yes. Actually, if you look at Sheikh Ahmed Saidi said, we want you to be 10x faster. And of course, you all know about 10x initiative. I'm the judge of that 10x initiative. Believe me, if you are there, you listen to the entities that are doing things, you will have to start from today to work on disruptive education, not tomorrow. Things are changing a lot. Things that you expect to have it in 10 years, they're going to have it now. So in 1 year, they're going to finish whatever is supposed to be finished in 10 years. We want to be #1 in so many things in the world. So 10x should be our now focus. How can we catch up with the changes happening in Dubai and UAE? And education should change. So this is one of the big challenges we have. Of course, the other challenge is always, I'm sorry to say, we have nearly 120 universities in the country, and I think that the quality ones are less than 20%. So we universities, especially we three, by the way, I'm one of the founders of RIT also. we compete, but we also cooperate. We work together to improve. But those kiosks, or Mohammed Al-Mur, he calls them Mickey Mouse universities. They are the ones who are taking our students. We are not, because we are quality. That's why quality of education should be #1. And this is something that we are facing a lot. But I know, Ajman, you're not facing that, but we too are facing number of students because of the Mickey Mouse universities in the country. The Ministry of Education work hard to stop these universities to become a part of this education system. And the last but not the least, now University of Dubai, actually we already started to implement blockchain in issuing the degrees. So the degrees will be automatically given through a blockchain. So if anybody wants to find a job, a student will automatically give access to the company, and they can see the whole thing is, everything is stamped, is sealed, everything is there, and you can see it and approve in seconds. So this is the only difference that it is. Plus other services are coming, but this is one of them.
Is it going to be attested as well from the Ministry of Higher Education?
Yes.
Or just within the
yes,
university?
We will force them to do it.
Okay, great. Well done. And Hamza is showing his hand from there. I thought he's
doing
bye-bye to me. Hi, Hamza. In quick, just to close. He's hungry, I know. خلاص عطنا شوي. I will use the 30 seconds of Dr. Saeed and give it to everyone. You can take a little bit more. So just to close, Dr. Yusuf, what would you like to add as a closure of this panel?
It's very simple. These things are very complex things. I mean, we cannot achieve them quickly without the collaboration of everyone. Families, stakeholders, private, government, and what have you. And I think there has to be a consortium. What would be the education or the strategy of education in Dubai, for example, UAE, down the road? And we meet together and we adopt technology such that we become part of a new deal. If we make a survey quickly here, we will find some of us are afraid of what's going to happen in the future. Some of us are not afraid. So we are going into the future and we don't agree that what is going to happen, and maybe this will not be good for half of us. So we might as well just meet together and discuss how do you implement it, and then we empower all the universities and other stakeholders to move. So if you leave it just to a university or universities to get together and solve it, there will be a shortcoming.
Dr. Karim?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dr. Yusuf that universities must play a very important role as it used to. It has always been playing a very important role in all the changes that have happened in the past, and universities will definitely play a role in this very rapid change, much more rapid than any other change that we experienced before, but definitely it needs an ecosystem, a very effective and genuine ecosystem, where all different sectors and the ministries and will be really working together with parents, with students, to have an effective plan, better than wait until it becomes too late for the ecosystem to be formed.
Dr. Isa,
yeah.
الكلمة الأخيرة لك.
I think I have one thing to say. Close the bad universities, Ministry of Education and KHDA, both of you. Close them. These are the universities that are making money without educating the students. That's a big problem, and we are going according to the vision of our leaders. And leaders want to be #1 in the world. This is not the only way to do it. So make sure that we are, because that looking at education is tourism. If you want to have a tourism in education, you need to have quality. People go to the United States, to Europe, to eastern part of the Asia and so on to get good education. We need to get that thing. So I think it's very important to close those universities, full stop.
It's a cleansing process of universities. Thank you very much.
I had another thing, but I forgot.
نحن ما سمعنا شيء. شكرا Dr. Isa, Dr. Karim, Dr. Yusuf. Thank you very much for your time you spent today. We'll come back again, Dr. Isa.
You want us to show that slide or 2 times late?
وين
حمزة حيصرخ.
ممكن واسطة كذي على السريع. عندك سلايد Dr. Isa has.
بالسؤال حطوا السلايد بس.
Can you put the slide of Dr. Isa, please?
Lately, some companies have started reaching the requirement of having college and formal education as a prerequisite for hiring people. Okay, it's not a trend yet. Okay, but some big names have done it already, like Google. So you don't need a degree to be hired by Google. Do you think that might be a challenge for you? And would we reach a time where there will be no need for universities?
Would be the answer.
Well, if I answer, we love that challenge. Because this is the only way we can trigger universities in order to reshape the education. You know, always industry is faster when it comes to this, because we graduate students to work. If those people, they are training them, then we have really to be faster than them. So this is a good stimulation to the universities. So I think it's a positive, healthy challenge.
You know, it's very interesting because when I say building less education, that doesn't mean universities are not there. Universities are there. They have faculty members, but they don't need to go to the buildings. The students, they don't need to go to the building, and that's how it is. So that's one thing. So believe me, it will happen one day, and if you don't catch up now, somebody else will do it. And we want to be number one, we have to do it.
Yeah, I think it's not about programs and diplomas and degrees. It's about learning and acquiring the right skills. And whether you do it in a university or online, what really matters is that the provider of education and learning must be of high quality. And then maybe, rather than saying close the bad universities, improve. I would say, I'm an economist, so I believe in endogenous things. So let's have more flexibility, and some universities will close endogenously. You don't need to close them. They won't have students because they will be known on the job market as not the best providers of education. So rather than maybe closing exogenously, maybe we can have more flexibility and let the market or the job market close the universities that are offering bad education in an endogenous way.
So now, if I want to tell you about this, education towards disruptive, you need to look at education innovation tool. And I can read it all. Adaptive curricula and adaptive learning outcomes. And this is market job requirements change. The rise and fall of specific job descriptions, right? They need to be innovative faculty, no rote learning anymore. Thinking out of the box, delivering creative curricula. Curricula should be creative, and also it should be adaptive. So you can change within 1 hour, within 1 day, within 2 days, and ministry needs to give you 1 year to change. No, we can do it adaptively. Research oriented is very important. Universities should, like University of Dubai, we have partners with some that they have their own research labs in University of Dubai. That's the trend to go. We want to make research and business development, not just research and development. And then team and collaborative working habits, innovative creative thinking, inquisitive mind. Entrepreneurship should be part of university. And the last, love to learn. So these are the elements that can go towards disruptive education.
I have a concern, if you allow me.
Yeah, Dr. Ahmed.
Last question.
Yes, maybe it's the last before lunch. Thank you, Dr. Yusuf, Dr. Karim, and Dr. Isa for the great insight. I have a concern. I think we are talking about emerging technology, the fast evolving of technology. You expressed the usage of technology in the campus, from smart campus and smart universities. But I like to hear from you more about the employability of the students for the future in the fourth industrial revolution. Do you think with the actual curriculum we have in the universities and the outcome design linked to the 21st century skills?
It says market change, job requirements, rise and fall of specific job descriptions.
Yes, but this is a wish. Is it a reality?
Of course.
I don't think so.
It will be.
It will be.
I'm not saying now.
That's why I'm concerned that with the actual curriculum, with the outcomes designed from the Ministry of Higher Education, students are not capable to be employable for the future, for the industrial revolution. Why? Competency-based learning and active learning are not applied in all universities. And we know very well that the actual...
Virtual reality is actually face-to-face.
Yes, exactly. It's face-to-face. Dr. Karim pointed out about distance learning and e-learning and online learning, but this is a part. I think the outcomes should be more competency-based learning outcomes, which is really realized in the assessment of the students' peer assessment, not by group assessment of students. And this is the problem of the ministry, I think, accreditation process.
They will change. So? They will change.
Endogenously.
Endogenously.
Okay, I think you can take it offline if you would like to have further discussion. شكرا جزيلا لكم. Again, small trophies to everyone. دكتور عيسى. شكرا لك. شكرا يعطيك العافيه.
I can go and sleep.
You can. لازم نحجز لك هني على فكره بالفندق، ما المفروض ما نخليك تسوق الحين. دكتور كريم شكرا جزيلا يعطيك العافيه. اوبس بعد في صوره هني اشر والنور. شكرا يعطيك العافيه. برد داخل عنك مره ثانيه. اي دكتور يوسف يعطيك العافيه. شكرا شكرا. يعطيكم العافيه. تفضلوا دكتور. انا ابتسم. طالب وياهم.
يعني big round of applause for our moderator كمان.
شفت هذه بتتذكرونها عقب التقاعد. Take a break.
She will announce it.
يلا يعطيكم العافيه جميعا.
شكرا أحمد، دكتور عيسى، دكتور كريم ودكتور يوسف.